Hi, and welcome back to Military Law Talks. So I'm continuing my series on the SCRA, the Servicemembers Civil Relief Act. So today's video is about child custody cases. So if you are a service member and you have a child custody arrangement with your parent of your child that you're no longer married to or plan on getting divorced from or was never married to, and get deployment orders, the SCRA can protect you. So under the SCRA, and this is for the lawyers here, so I know that there's some lawyers who may watch my content to understand the military more. So it's Title 50 U.S. Code Section 3938. This is where you can find those provisions. So if a service member receives deployment orders, and as defined by the statute, deployment orders mean more than 60 days, but less than 540 days. And they have to either be temporary or permanent, but to a location that's unaccompanied. Dependent travel is not authorized, and no family members are allowed at that destination. So that could include like a Korea unaccompanied tour to Korea or Japan or the Middle East, or it could just be you're a National Guard member and you get called up to maybe support a hurricane or to support, immigration or riots in another state like it's currently happening. So if your orders are for greater than 60 days, then this provision will kick in and help protect you. So if this is your case, so let's just use a hypothetical. Let's say you're a service member and you get deployment orders to go over to Kuwait. They are for 9 months. And you have a child custody arrangement with the parent of your child, the other parent of your child. And that other parent knows that you're deploying. Well, they want to modify the custody arrangement because, well, you're not going to be around to, get the child every other weekend or every other week or whatever your arrangement is. So if they file a motion requesting temporary orders, the court must take into consideration that you are deploying, and they cannot extend those temporary orders modifying that child custody arrangement for greater than your deployment. So if your deployment is 9 months, the temporary order should end and revert back to your original custody arrangement when you return after those 9 months. It shouldn't extend for like a year or 2 years. So it should be limited to just the time warranted based on the length of your deployment. And then if there's a motion or petition to seek a permanent modification, the law specifically says that the courts can't look at your military deployment as the sole reason to make that modification or permanent change. They have to look at the best interest, and that's your deployment can't be the sole reason that they are making that change. And then just know that the SCRA is a federal law, and usually federal law preempts state law. However, specifically for this provision, the law says that this is intended to provide a floor. So essentially, this is the minimum protections for a service member. And if a state law provides more protections for that service member, then that state law should apply. So the service member gets the better of the two laws. So whichever law provides more protection to the service member, that's which law should apply. So whether that's the state law or maybe there is no state law, then the federal law would apply. And another thing to take into consideration, in some states, you may be able to appoint someone else to exercise your visitation rights while you're on deployment. So Texas is one of those states. So in Texas, you can actually designate someone else, even a non-parent, like maybe a step-parent, maybe a grandparent of the child, aunt and uncle of the child. You can choose someone else to exercise your visitation rights while you're deployed. So maybe, mom or dad are deploying to Kuwait, overseas, Korea. And so during that time, they can appoint maybe a grandparent to exercise the visitation rights during that time period. And know that the parties don't have to necessarily go to a judge to get these agreements enforced. They can agree together. They can come to maybe a mediated settlement agreement, go to mediation, but they can have an agreement just between the parents of the child to modify for temporary time for that deployment. And so that concludes this video on the SCRA child custody protections. And know that I have lots of other videos on the SCRA. So I'm going to add this video to the playlist. Make sure you check those out. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Please share this video with anyone that you may think will find this content relevant to them, that they'll maybe learn something or need the content in this video. And if you have comments for further content, please put them in the comments and make sure you like this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.